Well, I watched a movie last night that was definitely overwritten. It was a end of the world theme, not quite an end of the universe theme, but it was an end of the world theme, and it just had so many of the modern action movie, come fantasy, come science fiction elements combined that you see so often. But seems like they tried to put everything into one movie. I mean, you had outer space, you had undersea, you had uh, high tech, unbelievable stuff, and of course you had the heroes and all that. It always amazes me how these advanced high sci-fi weapons never seem to be able to vaporize the main characters of the movie, but all part of the story. But then what comes through all of this rigmarole, all of these plots and subplots and stories here and there, there's one main theme. This guy and this girl are going to fall in love, and they'll be together at the end. Well, talk about a rock solid literature and movie theme for generations and generations. Hey, it's proven to be a hit. Now, there's all kinds of variations of the theme, but the fact of a guy and gal getting together, sometimes it's they don't like each other, then they get to like each other. Sometimes they like each other, and then things fall apart, and then they get together. And occasionally, in a sad ending movie, they don't get together. But all of this, to me, illustrates a great longing of the human heart that, to me, goes right back to creation, because it tells us that in the beginning, God created male and female. It said God created man in his own image. In the image of God created he him, and male and female created he them. From the very beginning, there was this partnership as part of our very existence. Now, we know that something went wrong, and there are lots of consequences of what went wrong when mankind, male and female, decided to try their way rather than God's way. And we are still paying the consequences for that disobedience. We just have not been able to get back to what was originally intended, although we have this sense in our hearts it's supposed to be. There's supposed to be a relationship that is so much connected, so bonded, so much in sync, such a partnership, such a teamwork, such a togetherness approach of life that we don't often find in the world we're in. But we sense, wouldn't that be a great thing? And we write about it, and we dream about it, and we always like the movies that have these good, positive endings, and I think it's satisfying some longing we have. The male-female dynamic in the world is a tremendously powerful thing. You have all these stories written about it, and even tragedies often are written about the failure to achieve the longing we have for that, the beautiful relationship that we recognize once was in the original paradise. And when we talk about paradise lost, not only did we lose that close, intimate relationship with God, the possibility of a truly loving, bonding, intimate relationship with one another became very, very much more difficult. Even Jesus repeated that a man should leave his father and mother and cleave to his wife. This desire and this command that there should be a partnership of love and commitment that makes things last and makes things meaningful in our life together. Without going into a lot of details about failures and occasional successes within our world of this long-term relationship, this commitment, lifetime commitment being achieved, I think there's another illustration there. And the Bible talks about the church being the bride of Christ. And Christ himself said in the resurrection, There's not marriage. People aren't given in marriage, they're like the angels of God. Now, although we were originally created for this male-female dynamic to be something beautiful, bonding, and long-term, that was an illustration of eternal dynamic, of something beautiful, bonding, and long-term. And that's a relationship with God himself through Christ. Now, I've been blessed to have a wonderful marriage and a great commitment to each other, and it's hard to even imagine life without that. At the same time, our resurrected life is calling us into an eternity where we have a bonding, we have an intimacy with God himself through his Son, Jesus Christ, that will make everything else we've experienced here pale in significance. And so our longing for that meaningful relationship is a real, deep human longing. And though it may never be fulfilled properly in our existence here, through faith in Christ, we can have that longing fulfilled in all eternity. Those are my thoughts for today. Thanks for listening.